Is it actually good for democracy to be completely open in social media? And how is this affecting the African situation and even worldwide? So perhaps Karim and Ambassador, we can speak about this topic.
Yeah, sure. Look, I think that's a great question, and in truth, it's one that I'm very conflicted about.
Yeah.
Because it isn't obvious to me that the democratization of media, which is what social media has done, it has made the entry into the media space almost without barrier. It isn't obvious to me that the democratization of media is necessarily good for a healthy democracy. Right? I think there is a tension inherent in having a platform for entry into the media space that is removed of all constraint. And certainly already in this election, speaking specifically about Kenya, we have seen mass disinformation campaigns already being run by political actors on all sides of the debate, both at a national level, but also at a county and therefore more local level. Of course, we already know that this is not a Kenyan problem. Right? We know that this has happened apparently in Europe and in European elections, in the United States, and elsewhere globally.
Yes.
So we aren't unique in facing this challenge, but of course we are unique in having to bear the consequences of the challenge to the extent it impacts Kenya. The reason I think it's complicated is the answer then seems to be censorship, which is somewhere no one wants to go, right? That's not a place you want to go. So I don't think it's an easy question to answer. What I've said in my latest piece was, how do we, and I'm interested to see what His Excellency has to say about this, how do we help Kenyans build what I call believability filters, right? We all read stuff. How can we be better equipped to look at something and say, well, this doesn't make sense to me. This sounds like it has an agenda, right? How do we within the citizenry build that level of kind of, I think the right word is believability, before you get taken in by some journalism. Yeah, that's kind of,
This is a super interesting topic and question, and there are no easy answers on this. And we've seen it both in Europe and in the US, in Denmark specifically, with all the pros and cons it gives, because it also gives citizens direct access to say what they want and participate in the debates.
Sure.
So that's a major plus, I think, but it can so easily be misused, and the further the technology advances, the easier it is to misuse it. Like what we have now with technology that can actually change what I'm saying in this live studio.
Deep fakes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Make deep fakes. Make me say completely different things that I actually said. Put it in some social media, and everybody would believe, oh, the Danish ambassador said this and this and that.
Right.
So it's really complicated, because then how do you verify that? And who are going to be that policeman on the social media to make sure that although that disinformation, misinformation is actually checked before it goes out there. And so what happens is that since nobody can do that before people put it out, things are out, they go viral, then the companies Meta or TikTok, they discover, oh, there's something here which is not right. And then they take it back, but then the damage is already done.
The horse is bolted.
Exactly,
yeah. Right.
Exactly. So how do we deal with that? And I mean, for me, the first point of departure is we need to raise the awareness amongst our populations, our citizens, our voters, that, I mean, don't believe everything you see in social media, you know, and make sure that you build that very strongly. I mean, almost really question what we see in social media, because it might be very, very wrong and very far from the truth. So that's really one aspect that needs to come out. But it's again, it's difficult because you have so many different social media. And recently I heard TikTok was, coming on, because that's no, before it started as a fun thing. People were singing or dancing or whatever on TikTok. Now, apparently in Kenya, they use it as a political platform.
Yes.
And so how do you go about that? Nobody's checking that. And then on top of that, you have WhatsApp, which is closed groups where all politicians have, hundreds of different closed groups. But who checks what goes on within those closed circles and what information comes out there? It's really, really difficult. Again, the only answer I have right now is that, we can appeal to the people who makes these, make sure that they understand their responsibility. We can hope to raise the awareness amongst the Kenyans around it. But again, it's a bit the Wild West still.